Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth here. So I just wanted to do this video in regards to extremism is dangerous no matter what area of life we're going into. So extremism, if I look up the definition of it, it just says the quality of state of being extreme or an advocacy of extreme measures or views. So radicalism and fanaticism. America is an extreme country. I can say this because I am an American, but I've also lived abroad 4 times. That other cultures, or some cultures around the world, are very, I don't know if the word is balanced, but like Europe, they're definitely way more balanced individuals than America. Like America is so obsessed with a lot of things. It has a very extreme behavior, and a lot of people from abroad see that. I remember meeting some guy that worked at a hostel in Portugal, and he was saying he loves Americans, but he finds them to be extremely or really extreme people. So when they come, their itinerary is set from like 8 a.m. to 8 at night because they're like zipping around the city to see everything. Where a lot of Europeans, it's like they kind of daddle around the town, and then they have like a 2-hour cake and coffee break, and then they do this. So it's like they don't have to see everything at once. But America is definitely extreme, right? Everything is really big here. The meals are big. We work hard. We play hard. We're addicted to a lot of things like consumerism, drugs, stuff like that. So we definitely have a little bit more of an extreme personality in terms of it being a westernized country and culture. But the problem is, I think a lot of times the truth lies in the middle, and there is just a rise in extremism in so many different areas of life that go beyond politics and certain hot topics like feminism, abortion, religion, and things like that. Like the Middle East is pretty extreme. They're pretty extreme in terms of their radical ideals in their religion, in terms of like, women are basically like pieces of property there and stuff like that. So, the weather is extreme there. It's super hot. So there's just a lot that goes into this notion that extremism can be very detrimental and dangerous, not only in a society or a global sense, but in our individual lives as well. Like, for example, I work in fitness. A lot of times you see a lot of fitness zealots going into CrossFit. CrossFit is a very extreme form of working out. You have a lot of people that go from couch to CrossFit, and they don't really do anything in between, and that's absolutely retarded because it's like, once again, the brain is wired to be super extreme, to go from one end to the other. I used to live my life, I guess, in extremism, especially being younger. Like I had body image issues, so I was like addicted to exercise. I was exercising 2 to 4 hours a day. When I was an extreme vegan and kind of this organic hippie, I would not eat anything with a trace of a chemical in it. And the more extreme I ever lived my life, I was actually really unhappy because it was so miserable trying to live your life within this confined space of an ideology or just a notion. So for example, like I would go to parties and such, and I basically would not eat any food there because I was like, I don't know what's in it. Like there could be aspartame or some other, chemical and thing like that. And that extremism ended up hindering my social life. And so it's really interesting that after yoga and the more balanced I became by living my life more in the center of a lot of things, the happier I became and the more I enjoyed life. So I think extremism, religion is a great way of seeing this, where you have people who take things very literally versus, and like legalists versus people who take things as a metaphor or certain spiritual texts or theories that are just like guiding principles to kind of help them through in life. Food-wise in America, my God, extremism definitely rules. You have people who are of that upper echelon class. They can't really dine down where like the normal folk go, or like a dive bar, because it's like they constantly have to be up here. Or the same with people want the most bang for the buck, so they're going to McDonald's to get a supersized meal that's like can feed a family of 3, and it's like enough calories for 3 people in one meal that's like the price of $5 or $6. And so I'm doing this video, I guess, for you to start to look inward to see what areas that you are extreme in, and how has it affected your life, your health, or your personal relationships. A lot of people who are so rigid and fixed and focused on one ideology, they can easily become radicalized, and that in itself can become very, very dangerous. We've seen this with radicalized Islam and terrorism. These people are believing in some form of a text that wants to kill and hurt other people. And a lot of times when you do become so fixed and so extreme on an ideology or just something in your life, a lot of times you end up becoming very hateful anyways. I've seen this happen in my life and stuff like that. Like, I've become very judgmental over people in other areas in life, and it actually, like, being self-examining and kind of pulling myself back and looking in the mirror, being like, oh yeah, like I definitely, was a little bit more stern or hateful or pissed and stuff, rather than coming from a place of kindness, which kindness can't always happen or occur in every aspect of life. But extremism can be can be dangerous, and I don't think a lot of people live well in extremism. I mean, think about this. People who go to work, most people don't like a micromanaging boss. You don't want a boss that's standing over your shoulder telling you what to do and what not to do. I think that hurts a lot of people, or that hurts a lot of people's well-being and their emotional state at work. So it's like, if you don't like that extreme type of boss, then are you acting like that in other people's lives? Are you being very judgmental? Do you hate specific groups of people and stuff like that? So I guess where I'm going with this is that everything in life is a balance. And, it's like, if you look at the vegan community, like, I hate saying this, but a lot of them have become so radicalized and so hateful. They're really like, they're almost detestable human beings to be around, because they hate humans so much, and they hate people who eat meat, that they can't even realize how much hate they have within themselves. So, for example, they might be very compassionate toward animals and animal well-being, but they hate their fellow man. So it's like, why are they any different from somebody who eats meat but might, be like an amazing spiritual person or a Christian who's helping their fellow man and their humans, but they eat meat. So it's like, you have to have this give and take to kind of analyze certain things, that you being extreme in one area of life can definitely alter and affect humanity or other people's well-beings, just because of your own attachment to your own ideologies. Ideologies kill. They have in human history, and they always will. And power and control is something that is like steeped deep within a human's DNA, and especially man's DNA. And so if you are super attached to that you're the right one, or your belief system is the one and only way, or this is the only way you can work out, and this is the only way you can eat to lose weight and stuff like that, it's just absolutely retarded. A lot of people just lack balance in their life. They don't know how to adopt balance. And the reason why I say this is because I think living in Europe for a year and a half, when I did between the ages of 29 and 30, I've learned to adopt so much balance in my life, that really that experience just led me to believe that all we have to do, not all we have to do, but like, when you can just sit and enjoy your life and enjoy other people's company, and you're just in a state of flow and in a positive, healthy way, like, these people are eating fucking cake every single day in Europe at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with a latte because that's what you do, and it's this sweet, endearing thing that you're enjoying a company with others. They're not sitting there obsessing over their pound or their weight and every calorie that they're eating and every pound that they're gaining and losing. Extremism leads to obsession, and then obsessions lead to destructions within the mind, the body, and the spirit. And that in itself, when we self-destruct ourselves, we will start to be a ripple effect, and we can start to destruct other people in our life. One example is misery loves company. So a lot of people who are extremely miserable, they want to bring other people down with them, and they judge other people like, oh, why are you choosing a salad and things like that while they're eating burgers and french fries. It's like, that's none of your business. Live your life, do what you want, and let other people make decisions for themselves. I've seen this a lot with people who are trying to change their health behaviors, and they have a really, really hard time choosing healthier options at work lunches or when they go out to restaurants with friends, especially if they don't choose to drink alcohol, because they're being judged by other people. It's like, well, why aren't you drinking, and why aren't you why are you ordering a chicken salad and stuff like that? It's because it's like everyone else that's fulfilling themselves emotionally through their food wants the other people to do the same thing, to stay on their level, instead of encouraging people or praising them for their change and stuff like that. A lot of people want to bring them down. So these are just some thoughts that I had. It was kind of a random video. I don't even know if it was like helpful at all, but I just think extremism it needs balance. And generally, when you look at people in life, I've had somebody tell me this, that they think vegetarians are balanced people and vegans are kind of crazy. And there's a reason why. It's because when you get so fixated on some ideology or text or something, you can become almost a miserable human being to be around, because you are blinded by your own belief system or ideology, that you can't see from an outside lens how rude or judgmental or hateful that you're being. And long term, that ends up being, it kind of gets miserable to be around, and nobody wants to, be around a bunch of negativity all the time. So these are some thoughts that I have. I hope that it can help bring balance into your life. Nature in itself is balanced. We have 4 seasons of the year: the growing, the alive portion, the dying portion, and the death. It's 4 seasons equal 1 balanced year. And so the more we can live in the middle and see each other's point of view, we can have more empathy and things like that, the better we can start to understand each other and hopefully move forward with better and healthier, lives, relationships, communities, and things like that. So yeah, these are some thoughts that I have. If you can use some of these thoughts to reflect on your own life and see how extremism affects you or affects your interpersonal relationships, or how has had affect relationships in the past. It's a good learning lesson. It's like, ooh, yeah, it was, you're being too extreme in one area led to judgment and it pushed the other person away, or it's like you're just too miserable to be around because all you do is talk about this one topic. So anyways, these are some thoughts that I have. Have a great day. If you'd like, please subscribe to this channel. You can also support me on Patreon if you believe in my message and my voice. And thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Bye.